Hello there, and welcome to the Area Nerdy One Talk Show. I am Jimmy.
I'm Jarrett.
And I'm Matt.
And this is the Villain Show.
Basically, we're going to be talking about villains. Just
talking about bad guys.
Yeah.
The bad guys. Not just bad guys. The bad guys. The pinnacle of evil.
Bad guys. What are they? What makes them? What unmakes them?
Is it not just a point of view?
I guess. Yeah. We're going to be
getting a whole song about that. It's about a point of view. Oh, it's the Robot Chicken song where Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda talk about point of view.
I've kind of got a lot riding on this. Yeah, villainy is a point of view. But before we get into all that, I got a couple shout-outs to get out. First of all, shout-out to Addison, my fellow D&D adventurer. Could not ask for a better teammate. And also that brings me to a shout-out for our good buddy Drew, who is currently running a business to remotely DM. So, this coronavirus is causing all of us to come up with new and interesting ways to entertain ourselves, including a lot of people getting into D&D. So if you are either a veteran or you're getting into it and you need some help, Drew is there for you. So go check him out at Toss a Coin to Your DM on Instagram.com, and we're going to put a link to his page in the description.
Description below. Yeah. If the plague's got you down, make up another plague that is not as bad.
And
I have
a big announcement. I have started a gaming channel. It is called Uranium Archer. It will be in the link in the description as well. Basically, what happens is every time I die or some sort of mishap happens in a game, I have to do a particular workout. For that, many times I die. Ooh. So the first episode should be going up. I'm doing Mario Maker 2. So there's going to be a lot, and that's going to be push-ups. A lot of push-ups involved.
Dude,
so do you have different workouts for different games? So for the Mario one, you obviously are going to be doing, as you said, push-ups. So if you do like Apex or Call of Duty, would you be doing push-ups or burpees or something, or you just change it up?
I think what I'll do is I'll alternate it. I think because for the first few episodes, I'm going to do Mario Maker and have like push-ups and then maybe burpees and then so on and so forth. But got to give myself a little bit of fitness, I guess. I've been trying to get back into shape, and I feel like this is going to be one of the greatest ways to kind of get motivated to doing it again.
Absolutely. So. Best of both worlds. You got the gaming, and you've got the physical activity, so you're balancing it out.
Make sure to check that out. It is called Uranium Archer, and the link will be in the description
below.
In below, yeah.
All right. Cool. Tight.
Yeah.
And yeah, can't wait to see that. I cannot wait to see you play Cuphead because
you are going.
You're gonna come to the next show like all jacked, like you can't even put your arms down.
Undertale, guys, I'm never playing this again.
He's like super jacked, and he's just like Shaggy from when he did it from the second Scooby-Doo movie.
Look at my pecs, little man.
I'm never gonna be small again.
All right, watch out for the roid-inducing video games, there, bro.
All right. But
all right.
This episode, we are going to be talking about villains in all different mediums of the so-called nerdosphere. So, I guess you guys have an outline on what different what do you call it? Classifications of villains?
Yeah. So, according to the website masterclass.com, where they offer various online courses with celebrities and actors, and you can learn about writing and filmmaking and stuff.
In the description below.
In the description.
We
have absolutely. I don't care about them. We have absolutely no affiliation. I've just been plagiarizing.
They just got free marketing. They're welcome. Sue us. Don't sue us.
I will post
please.
In the description. No worries.
What are you gonna do? So, we're the villains of this story. So, they on their website they have a very helpful page that lists out the 8 different type of villain archetypes according to them. Now, there's a lot of overflow and you can overlapping. I think there might be some more archetypes, but we're gonna stick with these ones just so we're not here for 15 hours talking about villains.
Oh, I got nowhere to be. I guess we could make this a 15-hour video.
Dude, let's do a 15-hour video.
And every 10 minutes we do 1,000 push-ups, and by the end we're super tired and we're jacked.
This video is sponsored by Uranium Archer.
This video is sponsored by steroids.
Look at the description, brother. We got the description.
Okay.
Gosh.
So, all right. Well, starting off with, let's go with the first one they list is. Well, first of all, let's explain the background. So for this, we all picked 8 villains to be our Council of Evil. We walk into the Legion of Doom. We go into the conference room. All 8 of our villains are there, deciding how they're gonna fight the good guys. So,
and we'll give you a description of the what those types are and what they mean.
You guys
Right.
are giving me so much work to do in the description.
This is homework. The podcast.
I'm gonna be typing an essay in the description for this episode. Holy cow! All right. Yep. Well, that's all. It's all gonna be in the description, guys.
Our goal actually is not only to make you do more push-ups, Matt, but just to do the absolute most amount of work that we could possibly make you do. We have a bunch of other sponsors that we're gonna have to make you put in the description, and they're just made up. I just have to make it. I just made them up.
Just give me the alphabet. Just give me
Duff beer. That's a real thing, right?
All right. And what's the first classification of the villain?
All right. The first classification. Well, the first type of villain that they list is the anti-villain. So the anti-villain is like the opposite of the anti-hero. So they're a villain, but they've got either like actions or an alignment or like a backstory that makes you sympathize with them.
Yeah,
yes.
it's it's very emotional villain, like almost like not even really a villain, more of like a person put in a bad situation. And
so like a good example of an anti-hero would probably be something like Deadpool. Though he does bad things, he ultimately serves the good side.
Yeah, or like the man with no name would be an anti-hero because he's more good, but he's like he's
chaotic good,
morally ambiguous. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right, Matt, did you pick one for the anti-villain?
Oh yeah, I did. You want me to go first?
Hell yeah, absolute.
All right. Well, my first anti-villain, my only anti-villain really is you guys are not gonna know it, but it's Arlong from One Piece.
Oh,
let me
like One Piece?
Let me give you a background, okay? Now this guy.
Place the bet. I bet it's gonna be a One Piece character.
I told you you said, "What do you think he's gonna put?" And I said, "It's all gonna be anime. It's every
not
single
all
one."
anime. It's majority anime.
Only most of them.
And he heard the word list, and he went, "Ooh, woo! I can't wait for Senpai Jared and James to hear my anime villains."
I'm gonna give them my best uwu and hope they notice me.
Notice me, Jimmy. Notice me.
This is gonna be the intro.
Okay. All right, we're ripping Matt. We're ripping Matt apart. He went through all this work to do this homework, so let's let him tell us his anti-villain.
So Arlong is a fishman pirate. Now, a fishman in One Piece. I'm gonna give you guys just a brief. A fishman is someone who's like partially human but mostly fish. They have these like abilities that are like they're stronger than a human, and in this guy Arlong is a shark, and he in the first part of the first part of One Piece, like in the beginning, he's a very villainous kind of guy taking over one of the what was the city called? I forgot what it was called, but he takes over because he wanted to take over humans, not letting he took over an island and didn't want any humans to like have any power or anything. So he pretty much had all the fishermen like take over that island, and in the end, he gets beat by Luffy and is beaten. I don't know if he dies. I don't know if they killed him or not. They never announced it. But later on, after the 2-year jump in One Piece, they had a arc that was in Fishman Island, which is below the ocean, and it's like a city for fishmen. And there's actually a point where you see his backstory, and he was like him and his people were like abused by humans and stuff, and like tortured and used as slaves. Yeah. And they were branded, and it's kind of like you see the sympathy of him and why he hates humans so much, and it's one of those things that like I don't know, it was definitely like a metaphor or a simile to real life, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So just so everyone knows, spoiler alert for all these movies and TV shows. But it also sounds like this guy sounds like almost like Black Manta as well. Kind of in the comic book, in his motivations to take over Atlantis for people of African American descent, so they don't have to be subjugated by their oppressors in the United States.
Yeah, but didn't they kind of like abandon that storyline because it didn't age well?
Well, yeah, that, and it was too political, especially for now. But anyway, I digress.
All right, so Jarrett, your anti-villain.
My anti-villain is Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
Highly debatable, but go on.
Wow, you're giving me crap about anime.
All right, wait.
You
All right,
are
when
pulling
one
into
of
Disney.
your characters is not animated, I will stop giving you shit for the rest of this podcast. But I guarantee you, I'm right in that.
I'm going
But
to
anyway,
Jared Blisney
there-
about this.
There is a lot of Disney on your list, though.
Wow,
Can you
Jared.
kindly
Jared. Jesus, come on.
Anyway, so Gaston is in a 17th century village, correct? And
Ish, kind of anachronistic.
yeah, so
but-
basically pre-science, pre-understanding, and
Are you kidding? This is the Enlightenment age.
First of all, shut it. And then his girlfriend disappears for his wannabe girlfriend disappears for about a few months, and then she comes back and says, "Hey, guess what? There's a beast, and I'm in love with him. Look it. What are you gonna do?
Stockholm syndrome.
Exactly. So what do? You don't just say, "Hey, maybe there's a beast. He's gonna kill somebody." You rally the villagers, and you go to the haunted mansion, and turns out the furniture's alive, and there is a beast. Yeah, he doesn't react properly, but who would in that situation? Shut it.
Okay,
All right, Jared.
yeah.
I ain't judging.
I
ain't
would
judging.
be co-host with an anime dude and a Disney conspiracy theorist.
More like an apologist.
You're a Disney villain apologist. The worst type of person to be.
All right, those Dalmatians had it coming. They needed to be clobbered.
There's flat earthers and Disney villain apologists.
We're the worst.
Absolute worst.
But the thing is about Gaston is that he's not like Ursula or anybody else. He's not planning this out. He doesn't want to kill the beast because he wants to take his land or anything like that. He could legitimately see him as a threat. He already kidnapped 2 people technically and held them for ransom. And now, and even looking at the story, he did hold Belle so she could fall in love with him, so that she could break a curse. So maybe Gaston's not the best person in the world, but at least he's understandable.
They need to make a Star Kids production of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Dude, have you ever watched any Star Kid productions? They do twist versions of Disney. Like they did one of Aladdin called Twisted, and they did one.
Did they do the Harry Potter one?
Oh yeah, they're the guys that did the Harry
I don't
Potter
think
musical.
Dear Harry Potter, I'm gonna your shit up. Love Voldemort.
So it's it's kind of like how they do like a musical of Aladdin, but Jafar is the good guy. So this is what we're talking about. But the very first song in the musical is "Fuck you, Jafar."
Oh God.
We're also gonna make you bleep all this stuff.
Yeah,
out.
I'm gonna have censorship. I'm gonna have descriptions. I'm gonna have everything, and probably a lot of cuts.
Oh
but-
yeah.
Hey, it's okay.
Please don't demonetize it. Well, we haven't been monetized yet. Please
So
don't
we're fine. We can drop
free-demonetize us.
F-bombs all we want.
Everybody knows if anybody comes after us, Jarrett Blisney will kill them.
Alrighty.
I've seen him do that.
I
The
know.
orphanage down the street came after us because we kind of almost burned down their greenhouse, and Jarrett Blisney destroyed that place. I'm sorry for the bottom of my heart, but it saved us some money.
He's like-
I'm just saying. Our lawyers are not going to be happy about
Legal's
this.
not going to be.
Legal's not going to be happy.
He's like the Zohan
So-
when his foot. He goes up to somebody and his foot just goes.
Legal just comes up from under the desk and strangles me. Anyway, what's your anti-villain?
Jeez. All right, so my anti-villain is Maeve from Westworld, the show.
Hmm.
So, #huge spoiler alerts. Westworld is a TV show based on the movie where it's like basically like real life Red Dead Redemption. So people go to this Western park and they've got the androids and they're populating it and they can just do whatever they want. And Maeve, played by, oh my God, I'm blanking on her name.
You should have written it down.
I know. All right, you know what? I'm gonna look it up while I'm explaining. But amazing actress, been in tons of stuff. So she plays like the Western madam of this town, and she becomes self-conscious and aware and escapes. And first of all, she's like killing all these people, but also like her motivation is she just wants to be with her daughter, and like these people have like horribly used and abused her and all the robots.
Mm-hmm.
So so typical anti-villain. She does bad things, but you can't help but agree with at least some of her stuff. The Maeve is played by I think it's Thandie Newton. Thandie Newton, yes. All right, credit where credit's due. All right, next villain is, since we're just talking about beasts, it's the Beast, which is like a character who's a villain who's the Beast is character that would be like evil because of its feral nature, basically.
Right.
It's more, think of like more natural, somewhat mindless, but not because it might not necessarily be inherently evil, but it is like dangerous and does bad things because of its nature.
So a good thinking on that would be looking at the hero spectrum would probably be like the Hulk, of things like that. It's mindless, but it's doing things for good. Whereas in this case, this would be the mindless kind of monster that is the antagonist of the story.
Right.
But also could be a mastermind though.
What?
Could be a mastermind though.
Yeah, so we mentioned that there was lots of overlap, but let's
something what you would consider a good Beast character.
Yeah.
Villain.
Well,
Matt.
Ready for this one?
Absolutely.
Giovanni from Pokemon.
Off.
Listen.
I don't see it.
I don't see it at all.
What do you mean?
You could have taken any Pokemon antagonist, and you were like, no, I'm gonna go for the one.
Did you
human.
not play red or blue or yellow?
So
no, actually I didn't.
So you mentioned he's more of a mastermind. That's like the opposite of the Beast, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay. So I guess you're talking about physical attributes, not necessarily like.
Well, when I thought about the Beast, like I thought like if it wasn't in the movie, I would be able to see it in like a nature documentary kind of thing.
Yeah,
okay,
like an animal.
Okay, for example, would be Bane.
No, he's more of a master. No, more mastermind. Let's say like if we're sticking with DC, like Doomsday would be the Beast, like just a mindless, unstoppable creature.
Okay, mindless. Okay, Jaws.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
The shark in Jaws. That's mine. Okay, that's what we're gonna go with.
All right, that's a good one though. That's excellent. That's an excellent.
That's actually a really, really good one.
Yeah.
Here, let me tell you why I chose the shark, because it doesn't think. It literally is just eating people. It ate a kid. Ate a swimmer, or not a swimmer. A person that was in a boat. Ate the veteran guy.
Yeah.
That's basically he destroyed a boat.
And even in the book, they do have a couple chapters where it's from the point of view of the shark, and it is very obvious that this is a one-track minded killing machine that's only real goal is to eat.
But he's just doing what sharks do, though.
Yeah, but not. But in number 4, the Revenge of Jaws, he is This is weird. I think this is more of like a sci-fi version of this. The shark is attracted to a particular family called the Brodies. So basically, this shark who follows Chief Brody's wife all the way to the Bahamas, which the water's too warm for a shark to live in, and probably, I don't know, all of a sudden this big ass great white shark just follows her there, and her son tries hunting or studying this thing behind her back, and he just literally tries to go after everyone one by one.
So you just chose the worst Jaws movie that killed the franchise as your example.
Well, we were talking about like, with him just having a one-mind instinct and having a first-person point of view. That one had it a lot. That one did.
The whole point of I'm sorry, Matt, I do agree with you, but the whole point of like the greatness of that first movie was that we saw things from the Jaws perspective. The whole legs dangling in the water scenes were instrumental in causing fear in the audience.
True.
Yeah, that's the thing that made it creepy is it's completely the Beast, because like you look in the eyes of a shark, there's what do you say? There's nothing but
the darkness or something.
Yeah, like that. That's literally what it is. It's an animal, but it's like it's nothing but the evil part of what we would.
It's literally just a killing machine.
Yeah. But so that's a good one, though, Matt.
That is a really good one. I agree with you, Matt.
Thank
you.
It
wasn't an anime, although the first one you chose was an anime, and it was wrong, so I'm going to count that.
You're like, it's not going to be anime, and then you just, like, freaking, boom, hit us with the anime.
It wasn't even, like in the category of the Beast, so I feel... I'm sorry, Matt. I feel sorry for you. I feel like you only see things in anime now. Like you went too far over the rainbow, and now we're in anime.
I've gone beyond with this list, so we're in for a treat.
Okay, all right.
Moving on.
Jarrett, your Beast can.
So, I actually, it's kind of I have one I really, really love. One of my favorite Disney movies of all time, Dinosaur.
Yes.
And it's the Carnosaurus.
Yes.
Again with
You
the
know,
Disney, but yes.
What?
Again with the Disney.
Yeah, Disney.
Wow, pulling it out.
But this was you know, I always loved dinosaurs, and this is like I'm hot on the heels of Jurassic Park, and then everyone's like, ooh, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it was really easy for them to just like animate another Tyrannosaurus, and obviously they did kind of enlarge the size of a Carnosaurus to make it more intimidating, but it worked because the red and devil horns of the Carnosaurus is extraordinarily intimidating. And even see like the pair, the mates are, you know, they work in tandem very well. And I don't know, something about those two were just
Yeah, that like
amazingly scary.
It was definitely like by that time everyone was kind of used to the look of the Tyrannosaurus, and like Jarrett said, the Carnotaurus, which is it was a theropod, had a couple of horns, and it's got more of a shorter snouty face, which was very It's a little bit more of a shark-like face, actually.
It is. So the Carnosaurus actually would saw it, use its short snout and its teeth to saw off whatever they got, like a shark does.
Yeah.
So they're actually very much related.
And
fun fact, shut up, Matt. I'm in my dinosaur facts right now. This is Jarrett's dinosaur time.
I got one.
Okay.
So Carnosaurus is one of the only dinosaurs they can confirm did not have feathers because of the imprints its skin left, that it was jagged and spiked.
Interesting.
So, all right, sorry, Matt.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say the way you were talking about how they made it bigger to look intimidating, like the whole intro to that movie with the little duck-billed dinosaur there that was like hopping around trying to chase that dragonfly, and all of a sudden this thing just comes out of the damn woods chasing it and chasing the entire like fleet of dinosaurs. I think that was like a really big like scene of intimidation for that dinosaur in particular, because that was I can't even describe it, because when I remember when I first saw it, that freaked me out.
Yeah.
I was in a hospital bed when I first saw it, so that's how I know.
That was a scary scene. Also, that is a critically underrated movie.
Highly underrated.
It was. That was one of those movies, like I know that a sequel would probably kill it, but I would love to see something.
Instead of doing 4 new Avatar movies, remake Dinosaur.
Yeah, remake Dinosaur. Put the budget into that.
Hashtag remake Dinosaur. Put it in the description below.
Bring back Aladar.
Sign the petition. Get the hashtag going.
Aladar. Aladar.
All right, my beast selection. By the way, we're gonna have to start rolling through this stuff. My beast selection was Toonbach from the show The Terror. So another one of my favorite shows. This show is excellent TV. So I highly suggest you guys, don't want spoiler alerts, you stop now, go watch it. So Terror is based around a Arctic expedition in the 1800s that went missing. We don't know what happened to them. They found evidence that there might have been cannibalism, which like rocked people's minds back then. So this is like a fictionalized account of it. And so these European explorers, get stuck in the ice, and then they're also stalked by a supernatural creature, the Toonbach, which turns out, hashtag spoiler alert, to be a giant polar bear with like vaguely human features, and it's like not like outrageous, but it's super unsettling. Like it's just so off.
What's that spectrum where something looks like human and it's
Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, it's
but like
Uncanny Valley.
It's not that it's bad effects. Like that's the thing with Uncanny Valley. It's that it's so slightly human that it's very unsettling. But it's so Toonbach is basically like a supernatural stand-in for what would be nature, kind of like how Moby Dick is like the stand-in for nature in the book Moby Dick. It's excellent TV. I highly suggest you guys watch it. Toonbach is the beast.
The beast.
All right, next.
I hope you never meet the beast.
Let me restart my recording, because I'm hitting close to 30. I want to hit it before it turns off.
You had to use our safe word.
I said synopsis.
Okay, that's what that was.
You have to put it.
If I ever say synopsis, it means that, hey guys, we're getting close to 30 minutes. Let me just say it live to the whole audience. I say synopsis when it gets close to 30 minutes because my camera cuts off. And if you've seen in the past videos, my camera cuts off at 30 minutes.
You know what? We should make your safe word anime, because you say it all the goddamn time.
All right.
And welcome back.
Yes, welcome back.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step on your lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
I ruined your bit.
All right, so we're gonna start rolling through these. Okay, so next would be the bully. So the bully is pretty straightforward. it's just a character who's aggressive and is there to be antagonistic. Like, he doesn't even necessarily need a
motivation.
A motivation, just there to, just aggressive, there to be a jerk.
Like the stereotypical bully in every single high school movie.
Yeah,
Yep.
like,
Our
yeah.
high school. Yeah.
All right, Matt.
It will be my main boy, Buggy the Pirate from One Piece.
All right.
yeah.
One Piece. Didn't see
I
that coming, but
I'm actually taking notes which ones you had an anime villain for. So we're 3 for 3. So
Okay.
tread lightly.
Buggy the Pirate is one that's in search of power, but he's also like he acts as a bully in the beginning, and then you come to find he's like just this typical pirate, but he has the chop fruit, which makes him separate into pieces, so it's pretty freaking cool. And he's also a clown, but
I'm surprised you pick a clown. Yeah,
I'm okay with it. He's a cool looking clown. I'm okay with that.
Like, you almost killed us trying to get out of that haunted house with the clowns in it.
Oh, bringing this back up again. Okay.
Absolutely, it was hilarious.
Jared
All right,
doesn't know. I don't think Jared knows about that story, but
I won't drag you through it right now, but we're gonna circle back to that at some point. Jarrett, bully, who was your choice?
Alex from Clockwork Orange. He's a punk. He doesn't. He's kind of like a beast in that mind. He's just has a one-track mind. He's just there to create chaos and be a dick.
Yeah, yeah.
Although in the book and the movies they kind of develop his character a little bit, but he's just a street punk.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, with Alex, this is that people are like, oh, he's intelligent and stuff because he likes like classical music and stuff. But really, I saw he just kind of like spikes out on classical music, and the rest of him is like pretty unintelligent and uninterested in life.
To be fair, not to bring anybody down or anything, any of our viewers, but just because you do have a fancy for like classical music or doing puzzles or like artwork doesn't mean you're not an asshole. Yeah, you could be.
I mean, look at us. We're into nerdy stuff. And
yeah, I listen to classical music all the time, and I'm an idiot.
All right, so getting into some literature review. All right, so my bully I picked was Hopper from Bug's Life.
Yo, good choice.
Yeah,
Good choice.
Another underrated movie.
Highly
Another
underrated.
one, yes. That movie was ahead of its time.
I mean, first of all, they basically just ripped off Seven Samurai. Well, they ripped off Magnificent Seven, which ripped off Seven Samurai.
Which was really actually just a ripoff from like some Shakespeare plays, kind of mashed together. But anyway.
Anywho, so Hopper is basically the antagonist, leader of a grasshopper gang, who bullies food from these ants. But the thing is, like, his whole personal philosophy around like why he does that and who he is like a full bully mindset. He's just like, we're gonna bully these ants because we're stronger and we deserve it, and they don't.
Well, all right. Disney apologist coming in here. He does say that if ants work together, they can basically take over. Mm-hmm. Which, looking at real life ants, is really true. I mean, there's a whole movie about from the 50s or 60s where the antagonist is a massive horde of billions of ants coming through the forest. Naked Jungle, I think it's called. And they just strip everything off. Ants are terrifying.
Yes, they are.
Well.
But they're cute and cuddly in Pixar. All right, so the next one we've got is The Machine, which is kind of like the Beast, but instead of being like single-minded and driven because it's savage and like mindless, it's because it's, first of all, artificial construction, and second of all, it's like calculated, like directional.
Yeah.
Good, like a good, what would be a good one for like a hero analog? Would I guess, the hero analog
would be the T-800 from Terminator 2.
Yeah, or IG from the IG unit from The Mandalorian.
Or just use the example on the website here, Arnold Schwarzenegger's robotic killing machine, the Terminator.
Exactly. Yep.
I said that.
Yeah.
Yay!
Because it's literally a machine. But all right, Matt, who did you choose?
Predator. Hands down.
I guess that makes sense.
And it's not an anime. Yeah.
Sci-fi.
So, yeah, that makes sense. Like, it's organic, but it's definitely much like calculatingly single-minded.
Yeah. So I guess that's right. All it cares about is hunting. I mean, we do get glimpses of that in some of the worst movies
Yeah.
of the Predator franchise. But the OG is like, I think I agree with you. That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jarrett, your turn.
Anton Chigurh from No Country for Old Men, played by Antonio Banderas. He's a human, but he is basically a robot human. He's a sociopath who will stop at nothing. He's calculating. He doesn't stop, and he doesn't, and he will never ever stop. Basically.
Quick. Actually, it's Javier Bardem.
Shut up. Shut up.
We're not here for facts.
I don't want to hear your facts. But yeah, I chose him. I thought that movie was really good. And I thought Anton Chigurh was just a human that terrified, the audience because of just how, separate he is from humanity.
He's just emotionless and just straight goes for
like
it.
a shark.
Yeah. I chose the Night King from Game of Thrones.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Should have been done better.
Yeah, should have been done better, but yeah. So
really opening that wound.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm all right. I know you guys are gonna have to go for therapy after this, but yeah. So the Night King, basically what he does is he follows his programming and he's like, I'm gonna make everybody zombies. I'm gonna cover the world in ice, and that's it. And apart from that, he's emotionless and just doesn't.
Basically, a humanoid-looking iceberg.
Exactly.
He's a necromancer.
Yes. All right. All right. The next one is the Mastermind. That is the guy who's behind the. He controls things with not necessarily controls things with his mind, but comes up with all the plans and stuff. He's the intelligent villain, basically.
Well,
do we need to take a break soon?
No.
Okay.
Okay. I was just okay. So I was just trying to think of what mine was. Mine's Count Dooku. I would have gone with Palpatine, but I feel like that's just obviously
Big Papa Palpatine.
Overblown mastermind that we all know.
And especially how it ended, I think Palpatine's a little overdone.
Yeah, so I want to go with Count Dooku in his reign during the Clone Wars. I think that was a real strong mastermind kind of plot for him.
I think Count Dooku is a better villain than Palpatine was, especially given the fact he was actually regal, and you got to see him more.
He also fits under our first category too, if you think about it, because he was in the Jedi Order. So, and he had a lot of disagreements with the Jedi Order. So, I mean, it kind of falls in the same category, but at the same time, I feel like he's a mastermind.
But once you get into his character, he is it's obvious that he doesn't really care about anything other than humanity. So I think at the same time he's a bit worse than Palpatine. So but I think it's still a good choice.
Yeah.
All right, Jarrett, your mastermind character.
Raul Silva, played by again Antonio Banderas from Skyfall.
Again, it's Javier Bardem.
Correct yourself, my son.
No!
Arise, my son. Arise.
It's 2 for 2, and it's the same guy.
Yeah, I know. That's how. I was flustered about the anime stuff, and now I'm just getting into the worst parts of humanity. So Javier Bardem is playing Raul Silva, the mastermind behind the whole Skyfall thing. I think he's a really good character. He's played extraordinarily well. I think he's actually a better character than Blofeld was, and the fact that Blofeld becomes the Palpatine of the whole Daniel Craig James Bond series is kind of overblown. It kind of undermined the actual impact that Raul Silva had on James Bond the character and the story.
What is that? That sounds familiar. What does that sound like?
Wait. No, I've never. No, we can't talk about that.
We can't talk about the fact that
we can't talk about
Star
that.
Wars, yeah. So, my character that I chose was the OG Mastermind character Moriarty from Sherlock Holmes.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I kind of assumed that Sherlock Holmes would get involved somehow, but
yeah, I limited myself to one character, so you're welcome. Yeah, so Moriarty basically, Sherlock Holmes became so popular, and Conan Doyle felt so cornered by his character that he wanted to kill him off. So he created Moriarty to be basically Sherlock Holmes' doomsday. So he created a character that he basically thought it's okay, this is the one guy smart enough to tangle and beat Sherlock Holmes. And so he created Moriarty, who is the Napoleon of crime. He's literally the world's greatest criminal mastermind who's in control of all the crime in London and a lot of the world and stuff. And he was only starred in one story, but he's become the iconic criminal mastermind and the archetype for pretty much all of the variations of it. So
Who was your favorite person that played Moriarty?
that's a good question. I like the Jeremy Brett series the best, so I gotta look up the actor because I cannot remember off the top of my head.
For all of our fans out there, we do have to look things up before we go on air. But
research at all, we are winging it today.
Yeah, we are winging man in it.
Okay, it was played by. I also did very much like the interpretation by Andrew Scott in Sherlock. It's kind of like the almost like the manic, evil to it.
Kind of like he also his character of Moriarty kind of fell into either the beast or the machine too. He was just that kind of single-mindedness.
All right, he was played by Eric Porter in the Jeremy Brett show, and that's the only one. So in the book, he describes him as his head is constantly oscillating like a reptile's, and I was always what does that look like? And he was the only one I've seen so far that actually does it, oscillates his head.
Is that kind of what was that disease that the guy who played Marty McFly had?
Not Parkinson's. I forget, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's that.
Okay.
It was more just kind of trying to make him seem inhuman and reptile, and emotionless in his demeanor. So, but Natalie Dormer plays both Irene Adler and Moriarty. It turns out she's actually Moriarty in Elementary, and I've got kind of
Natalie Dormer.
I've got kind of a low key celebrity crush on Natalie Dormer, so
Wow.
she definitely takes the top spot. Yeah. So
What's the next
my
one?
girlfriend doesn't watch this. Okay, so the next one is Evil Incarnate. So this is this is what I consider the most generic type. It's literally almost like an overpowering evil. Evil is the character, and there's no redeeming qualities whatsoever.
So a good hero version of that would probably be Superman or Captain America.
Yeah, kind of.
It'd be
I'd say more
polar opposite.
more Superman because he's fully good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mine would be Chucky the doll. The reason for that,
Lame.
this guy, but he's pure freaking evil, man. The
And-
guy literally kills anybody.
And that doll is super creepy. I just can't handle those movies.
And on top of that, he's trying to get his soul into another body. But the only way he can do that is by transferring his soul into the body of the first person he told his true identity to.
That's
So,
true.
for example, in the first two movies, since he was in the same body, he had to find Andy Barclay, who was a 6-year-old kid. And in the last one, he gets a new body and tries putting himself into another kid at a Kent military school. But yeah, that's mine.
But that's interesting because I always consider the Evil Incarnate not only just super evil, but overpowered evil.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's
can't die.
It's interesting to think because you think Chucky, it's kind of more of a self-contained story. But Jarrett, yours.
Actually, it's a tie. So my favorite character is in Game of Thrones in general, not the books, but in the show is Ramsay Bolton.
Gross.
Evil incarnate. He's just pure evil, and he's I don't know. I enjoy his character.
He's certainly the acting is spot on. He's just he's just so evil you can cut it with a knife.
And when you see him get the shit kicked out of him and everything, you're just yeah, that's justified. And then of course, my secondary one would be the Nothing from the Neverending Story, the literal epitome of the end and evil and nothingness.
Falcor.
So I usually consider evil as not just doing bad, but having the absence of any kind of right or wrong feelings, which is the Nothing. It is just nothing. It swallows everything that this world is and turns it into literally emptiness.
That's freaky.
Yeah, and that's a kids movie.
That is not a kid's movie. That freaked me out as a kid. Like even the
Yeah.
dragon, I was like, this is too realistic looking for my tiny young brain.
And the wolf. Oh my god.
Yeah. So who I chose was Smith from the Matrix trilogy. So Smith is so he's somewhat of the machine, but like he's a computer program meant to police the giant simulation of the Matrix. But he's like an evil simulation. Like the other programs are like, we're doing this and we're stopping the humans, but he like actually like just hates humans, and he becomes like so powerful that he replicates and takes over the entirety of the Matrix.
Does he become self-aware, or did they say he just becomes a virus?
Oh no, they're also like all the machines are self-aware. Like that's how they started. And by the way, we could like sit here for hours and do all the drugs and still not like dissect all the layers of Smith in the Matrix. Like it's just those type of movies. But like for me, the evil incarnate was always like Smith was just like the worst guy. Like he just like had it out for Neo and humans like so bad that there was no redeeming quality about him. Yeah, so and when he shows up, he's always just like Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah. And then he takes over this guy's body and he talks like Smith, and all the people there are like, we don't know what's wrong with him. He's like,
and the group that came back when with the guy that he took over, he's the only one that survived, and he's acting weird, and no one's like.
And he like Smith has like a very very specific way of talking, and he sounds exactly like him, and everyone's just like, I don't know.
Well, to be fair, the two movies that came after the first one were iffy at best.
All right, so the next one is the henchman, which is the guy who either works
the dirty work.
Yeah, he does. He'd either they can be the main antagonist or like working for the main antagonist, but they're like an extension of someone else's evil or violence, or a tool for evil or violence. So I like a good one would be like Alfred for Batman. He's like an extension of Batman's character.
Or Robin.
Yeah, exactly. No, wait, Matt first, jeez.
Mine is Jango Fett.
Yes.
Yes,
Very
because
good
we all know about Boba Fett. It's like we get it, but Jango Fett, there was a lot more to it with his working for Dooku, and being because Dooku respected him as a human being. Because apparently, from what I forgot what I read it from, but from a recent comic, that Dooku, when he hired on Jango for the clone DNA extraction, he had such a great warrior he had great warrior skill assets, yes. But when it came to being personal, he was very mature and professional, and I guess that's the way he saw him. But he was able to do the work as he was given. So that's why I chose him, because I feel like we didn't get enough of his backstory. I wish we would have, but
yeah.
True.
Jared. For me, my henchman is another Star Wars characters are the Death Troopers from Rogue One, and of course the Mandalorian as well. They're the epitome of what the stormtroopers could be, just complete mindless monsters going from battlefield to battlefield.
But they are entirely based on the whims and orders of their superiors.
Right. So actually, an interesting thing about the Death Troopers and Krennic was that they deliberately reversed the colors of the Stormtroopers and Darth Vader from the opening scene of A New Hope.
So they would have had like the black armor, but they didn't want them to get confused with Darth Vader.
Correct. So, no, it's because they wanted to directly oppose, what Darth Vader was in the first movie. Krennic is just basically just a scientist. He's just an asshole. But instead of just being surrounded by regular stormtroopers, you had these black honor guard.
Yeah.
Darth Vader doesn't need those honor guard. He's freaking Darth Vader.
Right. Except when he's in his bacta tank, he needs a couple of royal guards there at all times.
Yeah.
All right. For my guy, I chose Combustion Man from Avatar, a.k.a. Sparky Boon Man. The Last Airbender.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, easy.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Not Avatar with the blue people.
I know.
By the way,
the gears were clicking. I was like, wait a minute. I gotta think about the movie for a second.
Yeah. So first of all, I'd like to defend my hipster honor and let everyone know that yes, I was late for the Avatar train, but I'm not like pandemic release 2020 late. I've been a fan of Avatar for many, many years now.
Hey, even the fanatics of Avatar: The Last Airbender know that even people late to the train are just new friends to talk about.
That's true.
Uncle Iroh's philosophy. Don't be a Zuko and have your honor dismirched. Let's drink some tea and talk about some Aang.
Wow,
What do you say?
you just expanded my mind. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Combustion Man, as everybody knows, is the guy that Zuko hires to continue chasing Team Avatar during Season 3 when he's not chasing. So he's basically the way that they keep the chase scenes up.
It's kind of like Boba Fett if he could blow things up with his mind.
Yeah, so another thing is like he's got 2 prosthetic limbs, but he's equally, if not more, dangerous than any other people that he's encountered, and he's got a very specific firebending power, and he's silent, so he's basically just like a silent moving extension of the violence that Zuko is trying to do. So
he's like a machine, like Anton Chigurh and like the Beast as well.
Little, yeah. So he just is a henchman. He gets hired and he does the thing, and then he has the thing about some henchman characters. They actually like leave the control of their the people that hire them, which makes them an even more interesting character, and that's what he does.
See, I don't. The thing about the henchmen is that like we already went over, is that they kind of are just like they are like mercenaries, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I always thought like henchmen were always going to be like the mindless guys that get shot by Austin Powers when he raids any of the
Judo chop.
Mm-hmm. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. All right. The very last type of villain, there are heroes. The very last type of villain is the fanatic. So this is a person whose backstory and belief is so powerful that they can't be dissuaded, or they're fanatically following their philosophy or their mission.
We're fanatics.
Yeah,
we're all villains.
We're their biggest fans.
Oh,
and
yeah.
addicts.
Yeah. SpongeBob in that episode where he follows Kevin around. So, Matt, what's your fanatic character?
Mine is King Egbert from History's Vikings. He's, with his strength in the Christian faith and how everything is brought in through God. I'm not trying to bring religion onto the channel. I'm sorry.
But
how dare you?
For the sake of the history of the channel, or for the show.
That's his MMO.
Yeah, that's his motivation, and that's the thing he cannot be swayed from.
Right, and that was one of the things, like, you see, like, I liked him as a character, though. I loved his character in the show. Because, he was a master manipulator. And I think, like, seeing him, like, kind of, not, I guess you could say, kind of use the Vikings a lot for a lot of his, like, achievements. So, like, he played the whole ploy of, oh, you know what, we're best friends, we're good friends, oh, we're allies, we can live in peace, when it's, like, really... It's all about his ideologies and his religion that were really number one.
Exactly.
And that's what was really cool about it.
Exactly. All right. Jarrett, you're a fanatic.
So it's actually another tie, and it's a groups people. So the first one is the think tank from Fallout New Vegas. If you don't know who they are, they're part of the DLC or Old World Blues. They're a bunch of like these intelligent scientists from the old world, and they preserve their brains, and all they care about is science and like progressing science and things like that. So their morality's out the window, but all they care about is the next achievement, the next mathematical equation, which is something I thought was really cool, and some of the best well-written characters I've ever seen in Fallout, especially a game. But the other ones are basically, as you all know, I'm a big H.P. Lovecraft fan, so all the H.P. Lovecraft characters, they're all fanatics for either knowledge or whatever the hell they're into.
Which sometimes you don't really want to know what that is.
Yeah, but it's always fun to see these people, like, there are those people that like literally spiral out of control, and you're just like, just move away, just leave, and they're like, no, I have to do this thing, I have to see what the scary blob is.
Ugh. Don't poke the meteor.
Never poke the meteor, everybody.
All right. So for the person I chose as a fanatic is yet another Avatar character, Fire Lord Ozai. So in the show, he is the overarching antagonist, and the thing is that like he like fully and full on believes that he is like the person destined to rule everything and have the power over the entire world. And like in the final battle, he shows that because like Aang even tries to reason with him, and he can't be reasoned with because he so fully believes his own
Too far gone.
his own bullshit. And he as the ruler, he creates like a cult of personality around himself. So he's the fanatic, but he's a fanatic to himself. Yeah. All right, so that's the end of that list. I kind of like to maybe go over each one of us can also tell like maybe not villains specifically, but like what's your favorite qualities in a villain?
I think personality definitely and also backstory. I think having a backstory of a villain, in a sense, okay. So in the start of a particular show or movie, having a mystery of a background of a villain is like really interesting. Like we don't know where he's from or why or he or she is the way they are, but then when we get that backstory, we're like, oh my gosh, it all makes sense. So it's kind of like Darth Vader, for example. Sorry to bring up Star Wars again.
Not at all.
But this is classic. This is original. So, when the first when 4 came out, A New Hope, no one knew who the hell Darth Vader was. They just thought he was this big, robotic, tall guy in a mask. And he was just evil, pure evil. We all thought that he was the top-notch villain. But then, when the prequels came out, we saw this emotional human being who has gone through so much and has led to that position of being Darth Vader. So it's like, I think having a backstory is very important when it comes to a villain.
Indeed, yeah. It's easy to make a generic villain. It's a lot harder to make a villain that you can connect with.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, all right, Jared, what's yours?
Well, for me, it's got to be. It's all dependent on the writers and the staff. They have to have confidence in their bad guys. There's a lot of movies, especially lately now, where they just don't give the screen time and the depth to their villains that they really need to have the audience be invested in them. Like, the Death Troopers are not, complicated. They go and they shoot things, but they made an impact because they look cool, they're intimidating. And the writers and directors thought, these are interesting characters and we need to give them enough screen time to be interesting. There are tons of stormtroopers all throughout this movie, but they make them interesting and they say, hey, we have confidence in that these characters can be interesting and engaging. Let's do that. So my biggest qualm is Kylo Ren or Snoke. They were not confident that they could make these characters interesting enough to carry the movie and be actual foils to their characters.
I was 100% invested in Snoke.
Yeah, but then they just did him dirty,
Yeah.
That's the thing. You have to have confidence in your villains.
So a couple of qualities that really get me for villains. First of all, I've been trying to put my finger on the term for this for the past week or so, but kind of like the Vulture from Spider-Man: Homecoming. He does bad things, but he's not entirely evil. He's more of he's like a construction worker. His character's like a construction worker, and basically Spider-Man gets in his way, and that's when he drops the hammer. It's not evil. It's hey, I'm doing a job here, and if you get in my way, playtime's over. That kind of quality really gets me for a villain because I can understand that, and it's a little bit more realistic. I like it when villains also have they connect and they respect the protagonists. So Ra's al Ghul is my favorite DC character because Batman's not my favorite DC hero, but my favorite DC villain character is Ra's al Ghul because he and Batman have this. He calls him the detective. They have this give and take, a respect relationship. I've seen a bunch of kung fu movies, especially the one Hero where Donnie Yen plays this outlaw, and he fights all these guards, and the guards are the good guys or bad guy. He's the bad guy, but they're the good guys, and he fights them all, and he breaks all their swords, and they're we can't do anything, and then they just bow to him, and then he bows back, and they just kind of go that, the ability to have your characters have that mutual relationship and mutual respect. Doesn't work for all stories, but I love the stories when that does happen.
But the thing is, the best written villain of all time is actually Thanos from Infinity Wars. Yeah, he gets so little screen time compared to like Iron Man. Iron Man has entirely like full movies dedicated to him, but Thanos comes in, for one movie essentially, and he makes a mark. You're engaged with this character. He's the villain. You want him to see him stop, but you want to see more of him.
I
He
would
was
say
also
that,
so calm.
yeah,
Like, just his like presentation was just so soft.
yeah, yeah. But he had that quality that I was talking about too. It's like, okay, he's doing a job, but he's like, you cross his path and he's like gonna freaking break you.
But then he does have that respect for Captain America, for the rest of the Avengers, and you do see him like he looks surprised when Loki says just kill him. He looks frustrated when he's talking to Gamora. It's showing like emotion, that this is a flawed character. He knows he's a flawed character, but he's doing his best.
Right. All right. We only got a couple minutes left. I'd like to maybe also go over. We can give a couple examples of our favorite underrated villains from stuff that either the movies themselves or shows themselves are underrated, or the villains are underrated.
Oh,
Matt, Matt, you got anything?
Yes. So I'm gonna go with the Green Goblin from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Oh, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Willem Dafoe. Oh my lord.
Oh my god.
See that Green Goblin, I feel like there wasn't enough with that.
Mhm.
Like I honestly, I would have loved to see that character go to the second movie and die maybe in the second movie, not die at the end of the first one. Because I mean, obviously that's how you kind of see him or Spider-Man kind of prevail. But it's like you saw him; he was doing those little like master manipulation kind of thing, and that's the thing you were just talking about, Jimmy, is that he respected Spider-Man because of how interesting he was. He was like, hey, we're not too different. You and I, we're almost alike, and he kind of even offers him a chance to join him.
Yes.
So I mean, I feel like the Green Goblin in that movie was underrated. 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Skip me. I need 1 more second.
Okay, I got a couple actually. Okay, first of all, Kingpin from the Daredevil movie. Terrible movie, but Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin, I loved him. Plus, his voice sounds like if a mountain could speak. But
the mountain was made out of dark chocolate. And
Did you say Kingpin or Pigpen?
Kingpin.
Okay.
Wilson Fisk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he was basically. So usually Wilson Fisk is portrayed as more of like a calm, reserved, or like even socially awkward person, but Michael Clark Duncan played him with sort of like a flashy swagger to him that I thought was kind of interesting and refreshing. But my other one is General Thade from the 2001 Planet of the Apes, played by Tim Roth. By far one of my favorite villain portrayals. That movie did not get the love it deserved, but the effects and the acting was spot on. And like he's just got like that, menacing, like aggressive chimpanzee act that he does. It was so it was like scary to watch, but it was so interesting to watch.
Yeah. So my underrated ones is the Reavers from the first season of Firefly.
And only season of Firefly.
Shut it. Shut it.
You mean the show, The Firefly?
Yeah. So like throughout the show they mention them every once in a while, and you never see them, but you can tell that this is a force to be reckoned with, and is uncontrollable. You don't know why they're there or how they're there. And of course the movie goes into that, and you do see them, which is the Serenity movie is so good. Go give it a watch. Spot on, underrated movie. But the fact that you don't see the Reavers and you just kind of like feel their presence, if they have to go through Reaver space or somebody has to like talk about them, you could tell that there's a fear,
Yeah. So it's a space western, and when they were coming up with the idea for the space western, they needed a stand-in for like what would be the Native Americans or the Apaches in like Western movies. But obviously very sensitive topic, so they decided to make them Reavers, which are like
essentially what I took it as is it is the space western, but instead of having actual people become these menacing people, because obviously you can't really have that in the space and not having aliens, they just have these people, these others, because you don't actually see them, you don't know if they're like mutants or whatever, just roaming space causing havoc, and obviously you do have a lot of like people antagonists, but the Reavers are just a force that you don't see, but you can feel them, and every time they go into space.
Everyone fears them, no matter what. All right, so we're almost out of time here, almost out of video, so I think we're gonna have to wrap it up.
All right.
This has been a very philosophical, very interesting show.
Yes, and please do check us out on our social media pages. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and obviously our
Instagram
channel.
and Snapchat.
Yep, and
Snapchat.
check out the new channel Uranium Archer. Can't wait to see the first videos coming up of that.
I'm gonna be beasting.
All right.
He's gonna be our beast.
All right, so that's gonna be scary to watch that transformation go on.
You're gonna see a lot of anger.
You have to start talking. You got every other word's gonna be brother. Jimmy, brother, this villain really gets me going. He's gonna crush him, and he's gonna mash him, brother. But you know what? He's gonna get you, brother.
The Boulder's gonna win by a landslide.
Fuck you, Goomba. Fuck you, Goomba.
I'm coming to a town near you, Area Nerdy Wood.
Sunday. I think we just ran out of video. All right, we're gonna have to finish this with just audio. All right, but
wow.
Thank you
So for once, you guys don't have video, and here I am with just video. I love it.
Yeah, it must feel really great.
Yeah,
feel
you feel really
powerful.
great. Half your villains were anime, you weeaboo.
Feel really good over there, big man. Yeah.
Ew.
Ooh. Notice me. We have noticed you, Matthew.
Everyone has to notice you, Matthew. You're the only one with video right now.
Yes, senpai.
All right, well, thank you for watching. This has been Area Nerdy 1. I am Jimmy.
I am Jarrett.
And I'm mad.
Catch you next time.
You stay nerdy.
Ooh.
God, you're going to delete all that, right?
No.